Is recognized.
Madam Chairman, I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman, the chairman from Washington State, for a colloquy to Doc Hastings.
The gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, the Central Washington growers that I represent provide a variety of top quality produce to people across the country and around the world, including the majority of apples, pears, and cherries grown in the United States. There's no question that both consumers and growers want to ensure that we have the safest food supply in the world. However, Mr. Chairman, I have serious concerns with the one-size-fits-all regulations that the Food and Drug Administration has proposed to govern the way that all fruits and vegetables are grown and harvested. I think that we can all agree that lettuce and apples are grown in completely different ways. For one thing, lettuce is grown in the ground and apples in the trees. That's obvious. It only makes sense that these products should be evaluated based on how susceptible they may be to food safety risks and subjected to regulations that reflect both the risk and the way they are grown. I am concerned that the current regulations would subject all growers of fresh produce to the same requirements and restrictions are nearly impossible to meet for tree fruit growers in my district. There has never been a known food safety problem with fresh apples, and yet if implemented, these regulations risk putting our growers out of business and pushing apple production overseas. Would the chairman agree that the FDA should evaluate the risks of individual agricultural products based on the best available science and consider the growing methods and conditions of these products when developing regulations under the Food Safety Modernization Act for the safe production, harvesting, handling, and packaging of fresh fruit and vegetables? I yield back to the chairman.
I recognize the gentleman from Washington's concerns about the one-size-fits-all approach of FDA. In fact, this was one among several concerns we raised during the debate in the House when the Food Safety Modernization Act was under consideration. I share his belief that if FDA is going to be given the task of telling farmers how to farm, it should do so after a thorough examination of the risk of different types of fruits and vegetables, and then based on the best available science, consider the growing methods and the conditions of individual commodities when developing regulations. I fear that in its zeal to achieve marginal food safety gains,
the gentleman from Oklahoma would like to yield himself.
Gentleman yields himself 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I encourage FDA to reevaluate the proposed regulations, including docket number FDA-2011-N-0921-001, and make the necessary revisions to ensure that they meet this purpose.
The gentleman yield.
Yes.
I would like to thank the chairman for his words and his attention to this issue that's so important to the growers in my Central Washington district. I look forward to continuing to work with him to ensure that the new food safety regulations recognize the diverse way that farms across the nation grow our food and keep them safe for the public. And with that, I yield back the time and thank the chairman.